Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, through you to the Minister, can the Minister please explain to my community and the thousands of Australians across the country who are targeted by scammers each year exactly why the government won't rebalance the power in scam compensation and is choosing instead not to impose a UK-style presumption of reimbursement by banks and other responsible parties?
Call the Honourable Minister.
I thank the member for his question. I addressed some of the issues related to this in my address in reply. Can I simply say this? We believe in attaching liability to fault. It's a fairly rudimentary process known well to any lawyer in this place. If you're at fault, then you should be liable for the damages or the harm associated with that fault. The problem we have at the moment is there is no standard to which people are held accountable. There's no standard for banks, no standard for telco, no standard for social media platform. That changes when this bill is enacted. And I'm asked why we haven't gone down the UK approach. The answer, quite simply, is we do not think it will work, because it is not focused on preventing scams and it has nothing to say about the major vector of scams, which are social media platforms. And it beggars belief, and I gave some examples here in my address in reply, it beggars belief that we should hold the Broken Hill Building Society, a mutual bank, accountable for a Facebook puppy scam that the members of that bank, the owners of that bank, can have no knowledge or no control over. No knowledge or no control over, and yet we would hold the members of that bank accountable for the losses for that Facebook puppy scam, and yet the biggest company in the world, or one of the biggest companies in the world, which actually made money out of advertising that scam, is not held liable. That just beggars belief in my mind. So I understand why there is a simple attraction to it, but when you dig down into what are we trying to do here, and that is to prevent the scam in the first place, we believe that our approach is the better approach, and I think the proof in the pudding of this is our scam losses are dropping quicker than those in the UK, and there is intense interest from the United Kingdom and other countries around the world in the approach that the Australian government is taking, because they think it is a stronger framework.
Call the Honourable Member for Clark.
Again, through you to the Minister, following up on my earlier question, I simply ask the Minister, does he concede that in recent years it has not been uncommon for that fault to have been attributed quite reasonably to different financial institutions who have not taken reasonable steps to protect customers and have failed to intervene when transactions have been patently out of order?
Call the Honourable Minister.
I thank the member for his question. I can think of one example where that is the case at scale, and that was the UBS scam. Affected members in my electorate. I assume it affected his as well. And there was an agreement between the bank in that instance and the plaintiffs before the Australian Financial Complaints Authority that these were unauthorised transactions, and therefore the rights and responsibilities that are available under the e-payments code were enacted, and therefore compensation under the e-payments code was available. The problem with the vast majority of scams is they are authorised. They're authorised transactions, so the e-payments code is not enlivened, and it's why we need the new obligations that will be established by these laws to hold banks and others accountable to a standard and liable when they don't meet it.